Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Flux. Today I'm back with another boss guide episode, and today we're going to be going through Nokhud Offensive, and I'm going to be going through all the bosses and how to play them as a Shadow Priest. If you are enjoying this video series, please do leave a like on the video or a comment down below and let me know, and also please subscribe for more content in the future. Thank you so much. So in this dungeon, usually you're going to go to this boss first, which is Granyth. For this boss, he's going to periodically spawn ads from time to time that are going to try to go to these ballistas. There's 3 ballistas around the boss room. Periodically they become available and you need to hit them in order to do some damage to the boss and interrupt one of his casts. If that cast goes off, everyone's pretty much just going to instantly die and the fight's going to be over. So this fight is pretty simple and straightforward based on how your group is planning to deal with the ads. So if your group is going to kill the ads, basically you just dot them with like Vampiric Touch or Shadow Crash, and then you focus them down until they die. Make sure you keep the main boss dotted, and then you just rinse and repeat, killing the ads over and over. If you're going to ignore and try to crowd control them, you can just keep one MC'd the whole time, like I'm doing right here. I have this MC'd. And then I'm watching this timer, so that way when it expires, I can re-MC and just take hold of it. As far as the ballistas go, normally the healer is going to be the one that goes to click on it. So you'll see right over here that there's like a little timer. When this goes all the way up, the ballista becomes available to click. Normally that's going to be the healer's job, but that's something you want to pay attention to in case for whatever reason the healer can't make it. You can also go over there and click it, and just that'll make sure your group doesn't wipe. As far as the main boss and like your damage cooldowns, you pretty much just send your damage cooldowns no matter what. Periodically, he's going to cast this ability, Shards of Stone. I haven't run into the issue yet where this kills me, but I'm getting pretty close, especially on Tyrannical, maybe 18, 19. This will probably just one-shot you if you don't press anything. So just make sure you're at least pressing something like Fade or Flash Heal. He's going to follow that up with his Stomp. You literally just have to stay out of the circle, and that's how you deal with that mechanic. And that is pretty much the boss fight, I think. You just rinse and repeat with the ballistas and burn the boss down. And you'll see right here, like at this point, we're trying to CC the ads. So just don't dot them immediately in case your group wants to try and do this, because you will break them out. For the Raging Tempest, periodically he's going to cast this ability right here, Energy Surge. So this is going to put a buff on the boss. Makes him do more damage to the tank. You just want to purge this off if you can. Hopefully, ideally, someone in your group is helping you purge this, because if you are trying to purge everyone, you're most likely going to go run out of mana. Other than that, he's going to do this ability called Lightning Strike, which is going to put a circle on you. During this time, your group pretty much just needs to spread out around the room so you don't overlap and kill each other. After this expires, it's going to do a large amount of damage. Also, I have not really gotten to the key level where this is going to one-shot you, but I am also getting close, which is like around like 18, maybe 19, 20 is when this starts one-shotting you, especially on Tyrannical. But generally, when this goes out, I like to at least try to press like either Fade or Flash Heal, just so I don't dip too low. And then the other mechanic that's going on in this fight are these balls. So if you run around and grab these balls, you get a little buff right here. This gives you a damage buff, and it can stack up to 10. So your goal throughout the fight is to try to stack up these balls and get to 10 stacks for as long as possible throughout the fight. If you grab any ball, the duration of this refreshes. So the goal is to try and like just stack this up to 10 and keep it there. And then periodically the boss is going to do this ability called Electrical Storm. During this time, you'll see it's like about 14 or 15 seconds. He does a large amount of AoE. So this is the point where you want to use all your defensives, your big defensives. So you can just sit and disperse for a little while during this phase and you'll take no damage. You can also use Desperate Prayer, you have Flash Heal, you have Fade, you have Health Pot. This is the point in the fight where you just want to make sure you stay alive and get through the phase, and then just continue on with the rest of the fight. That's literally it for the boss mechanics. After this is just literally rinse and repeat over and over and over again. Your damage cooldowns, you don't need to save, just make sure you're setting on CD to burn the boss. Alright, so for Teera and Maruuk, there's not a whole lot going on. Maruuk is basically just the tank boss. He doesn't do anything to anyone else in the group. For you, Teera's really the more dangerous one. She does this quick shot that she's going to shoot random people throughout the fight, which does a lot of damage, especially as you start going to higher Terran. This fight, it really helps to have like something that shows like what the boss is targeting. Like you'll see right here, I'm tracking the target of my enemy, which is right here. That way you can see if Teera is targeting you with a quick shot. There's also like weak auras and other stuff that can do that. You just want to make sure you are paying attention to if she's targeting you with a quick shot, especially if you dip low, because if you dip low and you don't press like a defensive or something to heal yourself, and the healer's not healing you for whatever reason, you're just going to die. So that can be something that helps save you at one point. But other than that, there's not really a whole lot going on. So periodically, she's going to do this. Teera's going to do this ability called Gale Arrow. This is the point in the fight where you want to press your big defensive. So especially for this, you want to use some combination of either Disperse, Fade, Flash Heal, and Powered Shield, or Fade, Flash Heal, and Desperate Prayer, because this does an insane amount of damage. And she also follows this up with some quick shots. So if you dip really low and she immediately combos you with the quick shot, you're just going to die, and that is not good. Also for this ability, Gale Arrow, you want to stack with your group. It doesn't do any extra damage for being stacked, and what this does is it allows these tornadoes that come out right after to all pretty much have like an identical spawn point. So the tornadoes, like, they spread out like this, and then they come back in after they spread out after a certain amount of time. So you'll see if everyone stacks, it makes it pretty trivial to just dodge that mechanic. Maruuk is also from time to time going to do this frightful roar. Just make sure you're out of this because it fears you and does some damage to you. I'm not actually sure if this kills you or not, like one-shots you, because I don't think I've ever really been hit by this, but just don't be in the circle. And then Teera is also going to do this spirit leap to like a random spot throughout the arena. So you'll see right here, she's going to jump to this spot. Important thing to know about that, you don't need to be out of this, like it doesn't do any damage, like if you're standing right here. So if you're ever like in a spot where she's jumping to, so you don't have to move, you're not going to take any damage. And then the other ability that's going to go on, this ability right here, Repel. So periodically she's going to cast Repel. Very important for this cast, especially going into hierarchies. You do not actually need to kick this. And what that'll do is it'll leave the boss sitting there casting Repel for like 3 or 4 seconds. And during that time, she's doing no quick shots. So she's literally doing no damage. She's just a target dummy. So it's actually honestly beneficial to not kick that. Really all you have to do is just dodge the circles while she's pushing you back a little bit, which honestly isn't that hard. So beneficial to not kick that. And then after that, the fight is literally just going to repeat itself. Just make sure, honestly, the big thing is to make sure you don't get tapped by a quick shot and die, and that you can survive the Gale Arrow. And if you guys don't know, there's this website here that you can use to see if you survive the Gale Arrow or not, based on your stats. So you definitely want to come here and check this out because you do not want to just go into a key and get one shot by this. That's very, very bad. Also, one important thing I forgot to mention about this boss, the two bosses do share a health pool. So you basically just need to pick one and focus it. Just make sure you're keeping both bosses dotted and then pick a boss and focus it and just do your rotation on it. Normally I like to pick Teera because it's a lot easier for me to see if she's casting quick shot on me. For the last boss, there's not much going on in phase 1 for you. As far as your cooldowns go, I would generally not advise saving for the ad set and intermission. I generally just save my cooldowns for boss damage. I find that I have more than enough damage for ad set and intermission to kill them pretty fast. However, if you feel like your group is going to be lacking damage for whatever reason, you can potentially save your CDs for the ad set. And they will roll over into phase 2 so you have a little bit of extra boss damage. I generally don't save them for ad set because I find like in a lot of groups we just lust the boss in P2 and I want my CDs up for that. So you just kind of have to play it by ear based on like your group and what your guys' plan is. But yeah, like in phase one, the boss isn't doing much. Periodically, he's going to put this circle on someone. So the big strat here is to just play around this rock with this spear. And what this will do is he'll just charge into this rock. If I put it right here, he's going to charge to me, like right here. And if I'm still standing here, I'm going to die because it's like a charge that does a lot of damage. So the strat and the idea with the rock is like he's just going to charge into the rock and you're in no danger by standing here. And for that, you want to make sure you are pressing a big defensive. Pretty sure you need disperse. You need either disperse or fade, flash shield, and desperate prayer, or you are going to die that. I don't think fade and flash shield saves you, especially on higher keys. Also for this boss, you want to make sure you come and check this website here to check for the iron spear and the static spear. Very, very important. Those do a lot of damage. Those are two of the more dangerous mechanics in this dungeon, so you want to make sure you don't get one shot by those. In P1, after the boss does the spear throw, he's going to do this next ability called Upheaval. So what this is going to do is it's going to target a random person with a cone, a frontal cone, and everyone in the group is going to have these circles on them. So what you need to do is just spread out and then also don't get hit by the cone. The cone will pretty much one-shot you. For that cone and that mechanic, you want to make sure you are close to the boss because if you are too far away, it's going to be a lot harder to run out of the cone and you're probably just going to die and get hit by it. Yeah, it's pretty much just rinse and repeat. The boss phase is at like 65 or 60%, and at that point you go into phase two. I think it's 60%. You go into intermission. So in intermission, all four of these adds are going to spawn, or not spawn, they're going to become attackable. The boss is going to be doing some damage, some ticking AoE damage, and you have to kill these adds as soon as possible to get out of this phase. So while you're going into this phase, you want to try to make sure you press Fade and Flash Heal just to give you a 20% DR to help your healer keep you topped. And then other than that, you're going to make sure you dot all these adds and then just start dumping damage into them. Just make sure you have all of them dotted or you're not going to be hitting one of them. And then also during this time, you want to make sure you are helping your group with stops and kicking. So I want to make sure I'm close enough to Psychic Scream, and then I'm just watching one as like a backup to see if it goes off with a kick. Sometimes your tank might assign you a kick for one of these, and in that case, you just send your kick on it, and then you kind of just coordinate with your group for stops. Usually by the time your group runs out of stops, these should just be dead. And then at that point, you go into phase two. Phase two kind of repeats as phase one. Periodically, these swirlies are going to come down. You just dodge them. He's going to do a static spear instead of the iron spear. So this mechanic's a little different. I think right here the healer's going to meld this, so it's not going to go off. Yeah, let me try to find one for where it does go off. So the static spear is a little bit different from the iron spear because with this one, it's going to pull everyone to this spot, which is why the rock strat becomes a lot better. Just literally makes it easy and prevents anyone from dying. So you'll see it goes off. We all get pulled there. Normally you have to run out as fast as you can, but since we're all behind the rock, we're not going to die. There is times I think where this does bug out, so you do want to make sure you move anyway. If that spear goes on you, make sure you are pressing big defensives or you are going to die. And then so after that spear, he's going to follow that up with this upheaval. He's going to point at a random person and do a big cone, and then also drop like one of these circles that does some AoE and it leaves this little storm behind. For this, you do want to make sure you are pressing also a defensive. Usually like fade and or flash shield is enough for this. You do not want to send disperse or desperate prayer for this because you need those to live if the spear gets targeted on you. So just send fade or flash shield. Make sure you get out of the cone. For this cone, it helps a lot if you are standing closer to the boss. I have died to this many times because I'm standing really far away and I'm just slow as shit as a priest, so you can't get out of this cone fast enough. Like you literally can't if you press feather and shield and power a shield. So just make sure you are close to the boss because it is very easy to die to that cone. Yeah, you just get out of that and then that phase pretty much repeats over and over with the spear and the cone. And that's pretty much everything in Nokhud Offensive, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please do leave a like if you enjoyed the video or found it helpful, or leave a comment down below and let me know. and also subscribe for more content in the future. Thanks, guys. See you in the next video.